Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge. And I thought I'd do a little review of a game that it would seem has gone unnoticed by a few people. Certainly, people that I've spoken to about the game have then said, "Oh, I didn't even realize that's come out," and they've then gone out and picked it up. So I thought, why not? I had a great time live streaming this at the weekend, so I thought I'd show it now and give you my sort of quick thoughts on it after playing it for a few hours. And of course, that game is Bayonetta 3 on the Nintendo Switch. Now, for those of you who don't know what the game is, but it's obviously the third in the series, and the first two you can still pick up, I believe, on the Wii U. The first one came out on another, I think it might have been out originally on the Wii, but there is a double box set of the first and second game that you can pick up on the Wii U, and there may even be Switch versions of these. In the eShop, I believe. There might be the first or the second one is available, eShop, or whatever the hell the Nintendo Switch shop is called. But yes, the I would recommend picking it up on the Wii U because obviously you can then use the gamepad and play it in handheld mode. But we're not talking about those two games. They're both brilliant, by the way. You should play them. You don't need to have played them to play the third game, but if you can, yeah, definitely pick them up and give them a go because they're fantastic games. But no, we're going to talk about the third one, and hopefully, whilst I'm talking, you're going to see some footage of the game playing. Now, I've chosen just very small snippets and nothing that is spoilery, very early game stuff. So nothing you're going to see is going to ruin the experience for you if you play these games. So what is it? It's essentially a JRPG action shooter, if that's a thing, with I'm not a massive fan of JRPG games or those kind of games, but for me, this is just fun, and that's what some video games need to be. They just need to be pure fun to play, and this really is that. So you take the role of a witch. She's a witch with all sorts of weird and wonderful powers, some timey-wimey, some shape-shifting. She's also an expert martial artist and all those sorts of things, and she goes on throughout these three games some pretty insane adventures against both demons and angels and other things. The third one gets all sorts of craziness, but yeah, story, there is a story there, and there's some amazing characters in there that are always, in that Japanese style, larger than life, crazy, wacky, can punch holes in planets, can never die from the amount of damage and inflicted upon them, and always seem to come back even if they do die. But really, the story isn't that important. It's kind of in the background. It just leads you from one scene to the next, before you have the next epic battle against some monstrosity that you are gonna pull off some insane moves against. The witchness in her allows her to use essentially her hair as a weapon. So her entire body, this has got some risque stuff in it, but nothing too bad. But essentially, her entire suit is made of her hair, and she can manipulate that to create monsters, to create giant fists, giant kick legs, giant, just all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. And it's really hard for me to explain how it works. But once you start playing the game, you realise how it works. But yeah, it's got craziness in it. And you summon these giant demons as well to fight on your side. At the same time, I was going to say dual wielding guns, but you're actually quad wielding guns because she has two pistols in her hands and two strapped to her high heel boots, and that allows her to shoot from four places on her body, and also cartwheeling, kung fu, crazy maneuvers. Think Devil May Cry in high heels, but way crazier, way crazier. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of explaining the game. And it is just epic battle after epic battle. So you go from cutscene. The cutscenes are quite lengthy. So, hope you enjoy those, but they're just fun. They're just ridiculous. So you don't mind because you're not taking it too seriously. And you go from one cutscene to the next and have a massive epic battle. I have done a small amount of exploration. So there is an open world element to the game where you can go out and collect items, like currency and other bits and pieces. And there's even challenging rooms, so you can find these kind of areas where you can activate a gem or a stone, whatever you want to call it, will activate an area, and then you go into a battle and actually try and challenge the rooms. So see how fast you can complete it, see if you can get the best rankings. It has that classic, you know, when you play other games where you get different types of rankings based on the fight you just had. So how well was you at dodging, how much damage did you take, how quickly did you kill the enemies, did you just cheese the same move over and over again, and then it'll give you a rank based on your fight. So that's cool. I'm never too worried about chasing a rank, though. I just play the game for the pure fun of it. Yeah, what else can I say? For some people, if you have played the original games, they have changed the voice actress who was the voice of Bayonetta. So a very distinct voice if you've played the previous two. And you will notice it's a different person talking in this, but it's close enough. Like for me, I wasn't that like... It doesn't change the game for me. I still enjoyed it just as much, even though they have changed the voice actress. You get used to it very quickly, and yeah, I don't have any issue with it whatsoever. I believe there's some controversy about value and pay and all those sorts of things, and they ended up just getting a different actress to play the voice. But the person who's doing this one, yeah, I think she does a great job. And what else is there to say about it? Really, I would recommend playing it docked on your Switch. One, you get a little bit extra power, and two, this game is frantic. So it might be better on an OLED screen. I don't have an OLED screen Switch. I have the original Switch and the lights. But to play in handheld mode, it's just too chaotic for me to work out what's going on. So playing it up on a big screen is much nicer, and it runs perfectly fine. Occasionally there's a little bit of slowdown, but nothing that causes me to sort of, you know, step away from the game or anything. But playing it on a big screen, it looks a lot better. So I'd highly recommend doing that. I'd love for someone who's playing it on the OLED version to tell me if it works. But sometimes the battles, because you jump from being your character to maybe being these big monsters, and even the camera is very epic in how it moves, so it might zoom out quite a lot so you can see buildings falling over and, you know, tidal waves coming in, all sorts of stuff. You can be fighting and be quite a small individual whilst all this epic craziness is going on around you. So the camera zooms out quite a lot, and then it will zoom back in again, and then it will move. So it can be a little bit disorientating, and on a small screen, it's quite hard to see things sometimes. So yeah, my recommendation is get yourself a Pro controller, dock your Switch, and play it on your big telly, and you won't regret it. It looks fantastic. It looks great. I mean, it's not PS5 levels of graphics, of course, it's a Switch, but for me it looks absolutely great, and I'm hoping seeing some of that from some of the footage. But overall, you know, very quick review. I know I've only done a few minutes, but for me, this is absolutely worth picking up. If you haven't got it, Bayonetta 3 on the Switch comes with my complete recommendation. And if you're out there in the charity shops or out there in the boot fairs and all the other bits and pieces, maybe if you spot a copy of the Wii U double pack, you'll pick that up as well, because it's a great trilogy of games. And yeah, that's it from me. I highly recommend it. Go and get it, or if you have got it and you have a difference in opinion, let me know in the comments below, and that'd be really great to hear from you. But I'm going to go now and play some more Bayonetta. See you soon. Bye bye.
Finally decided to come up for air, did you? Now, who invited you to our little crew?